Hoopa Unbound is a monster, and this set makes it even deadlier than it already is. My name is Just Weavile, and welcome to my Pokemon Wi-Fi Battle series, where we try to bring out the potential of every Pokemon there is. Let's get started. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. They're going to lead off with Pinky, the Mienshao, as I led off with my Gliscor. So this is not the best matchup for my opponent, but unless they have Triple Axle, in which case I'm going to go for a Protect right now and scout to see what kind of set this Mienshao's got. If they have the Triple Axle, then we'll go into Cryogonal and go from there. Or Rotom. Rotom's probably a better option. They go for a knockoff, so they're trying to knock off our poison item, which is a good play. If you can go for the knockoff on the Gliscor, you should. I doubt they have Triple Axle if that's the case, because otherwise they would have gone straight for that. Now I'm going to go for a knockoff of my own, expecting a U-turn really. They withdraw, so they might be banded. They might be locked in right now. Or scarfed, one of the two. And they're going to go into Scooter, which is going to be the Scizor. We go for a knockoff. That's going to take care of their, whatever they're holding, an Assault Vest. Wow, I haven't seen an Assault Vest Scizor, but that's pretty cool, actually. I'm going to go for a layer of Spikes right now. I outspeed, of course, because it's a Scizor. They're not that fast, unlike Cypher. And we'll see what they're going to do. So they go for a dual Wing Beat, which isn't going to do much damage to us. So we should be able to get up our layers of Spikes right now, which is going to be great. So let's see how this plays out for us. I really think Hoopa is going to put in the work against their team, Terra Fairy Hoopa, if we can get rid of the Scizor and maybe the Goldengo. So let's go for another layer of Spikes. They go for a Bullet Punch. That's going to sting a little bit too. Nothing too drastic. We get another layer of Spikes up, like so. And then after this, what we're going to do is we're going to hard switch out into, I'm going to say Rotom. They go for another Bullet Punch, which is fine. Not much damage to us. We go for a Spikes again, and that is going to be great. So Spikes comes through, like so. And then we're going to get that Poison Heal, which is awesome. So now, we know they're going to go for a Bullet Punch again, probably. I think our best bet is, because they've probably got knockoff, I think our best bet is going to be Rotom. So I'm going to go into Rotom now. And I'm going to throw a Will-O-Wisp with this thing. I think that's probably the best option for us. So they go for a Bullet Punch, which is fine. They probably have Rapid Spin on the Colossal to get rid of those Spikes, but I'm fine with that. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of going for a Will-O-Wisp, I might actually just go straight for a Hydro Pump, expecting the switch into Colossal. Hydro Pump comes through. They do, in fact, stay in. And Hydro Pump does a lot of damage. They go for a U-turn. Probably going to see a Colossal switch or a Brute Bonnet switch. One of the two. We'll have to see. Gromago comes in. Who's Gromago? The Goldengo. Okay, cool. Goldengo comes in. Gets hurt by the Spikes, which is great. No Air Balloon. They're probably choiced if that's the case, I guess. We'll see if they have leftovers or not now. They don't have leftovers, so now let's go for a Volt Switch right now. Just to get out of there, and we'll go into our more Pokemon capable of taking a Shadow Ball from this thing. And that's going to probably have to be, I'd say Hoopa, but they could be Specs. So we have to be careful here. Gliscor is still useful for us. They haven't got hazards unless the Colossal sets up Stealth Rock. So I think I'll go Cryogonal here, because they're not going to go for a Make It Rain anyway. They're going to go for a Shadow Ball or something. So if we go into Cryogonal, we can kind of go from there. So they go for a nasty plot. Now, does Haze work on Goldengo? Yeah. If they're nasty plot, they're probably going to go for either a Make It Rain or a Recover here. In which case, if we assume they're going to go for a Recover, let's go for a Freeze Dry just to see how much damage we do. Bit of damage. We'll see if they've got Recover or not. Nasty plot. So they haven't got Recover, which is good. Or they might not have Recover. We can't afford to switch anything in though, so I'm going to go for another Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry comes through. And it's a 2-hit KO from where it was at. There's the Shadow Ball. We should actually live this. We don't live that. It's +4. Jack, come on. We should live this. No. They are Life Orb as well, which is good to know. So now we can go into whatever we want really to take on this thing. I'm going to go into the safe Toxicroak, because Toxicroak does actually stop them from switching into certain things. And if they're going to switch out, I think our best bet's go for a Thunder Punch here. So I'm going to go for it. Thunder Punch comes through and takes out the Goldengo, which is great. So now they can't, I guess Earthquake would have also worked, but I didn't want them to bring Brute Bonnet in. I don't think they'll bring Brute Bonnet in anyway. I think if anything they bring in the Scizor or the Mienshao here. Well, Dragapult also works as well. That's Gorlitz. Is that the Dragapult? No, it's the Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet comes in. It gets hurt by the spikes, of course. Now, we're going to have to go in something, obviously. I'm leaning towards... I'm leaning towards them going for a Terror here. I'm going to go for a Rotom switch. I don't think they go for a Seed Bomb, that's for sure. And then we can go for a Will-O-Wisp and burn this thing, which would be great. So, let's go into Bosch real quick. Like so. Boom. They are going to Terror. I thought they would Terror. But what are they going to Terror into? I'm assuming if it's Toxicroak, for the Toxicroak, it'd be ground, right? Dragon? Terror Dragon. Interesting. Very interesting, that is. So they go for a Terror Blast, which is going to sting a little bit. A little bit. Nothing too drastic. And then we'll just go for a Will-O-Wisp here. And I really think, you know, minus that Sizzle, which is already on its death's door. I think Sizzle dies to spikes, actually. I really think we go for a Will-O-Wisp here. They go for another Terror Blast though. They do outspeed us. So they must be max speed. And that KOs Rotom Wash, unfortunately. So. What's our best choice here? I'd say best option is probably Hoopa. And then we Terror. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for the Hoopa. Precious over here. There we go. We Terra Fairy and we Terra Blast right now. That's what I'm going to do. They withdraw. They withdraw. What are they going to go into? Scizor? Scooter. Is that Scizor? That's the Scizor. Scizor goes down. They don't know we're Terra Fairy, obviously. But if they did know we were Terra Fairy, they would keep the Scizor alive. Because Bullet Punch would have been so helpful here. Bullet Punch would have been so helpful here. Because we Terra Fairy, Terra Blast. And now I don't think there's anything on the team that can stop this. I don't think so. No, sir. Terra Blast comes through. Boom. Open up a portal and destroy that Scizor. Like so. So Scizor goes down to the power of Terra Blast, Hoopa Unbound, which is really good in my opinion. I think Terra Fairy works really well with its typing. Monfrest... I don't know how it says. Colossal comes through. Gets hurt by the spikes, of course. Now, they might think we're choiced. So I'm going to go for a Psychic here and just get the KO. Well, do a lot of damage to this thing. So Psychic comes through. We are not choiced. We're a Assault Vest. Does a lot of damage. And they go for a Flamethrower. They're a special one. Oh, damn. That's not going to work because we're Assault Vest. We're Assault Vest. That Psychic's going to come through now and take out that Colossal. Hoopa Unbound, it can be ridiculous if you get it going. Can be ridiculous. And the great thing is if the Brute Bonnet has Sucker Punch, we resist that. We also resist the U-turn from the Dragapult if it has U-turn, and we resist the U-turn from the Mienshao. So they're going to go into the what do you call it? The Brute Bonnet now. Spikes damage are going to come in. We're just going to whack it with a Terra Blast. I think we outspeed as well. We do. We outspeed the Brute Bonnet. We go for a Terra Blast. Boom. Like so. Awesome stuff from Hoopa right there. There we go. Brute Bonnet goes down. They could still pull this back, though. I'm not like saying I've won or anything like that because they've still got Mienshao, which could really hurt us. They're going to Pinky the Mienshao now. What move is it going to have that could really hurt us, though? Spikes do dig in. I'm going to go for a Psychic. Poison Jab. That'll do the trick. There we go. So Hoopa went down to a critical hit Poison Jab. That came in clutch from there. I don't know. I think the crit didn't matter because Hoopa is very weak on the physical side, but at the same time, it was Life Orb after all, so I don't think it mattered too much. So now what we can do is we can go into whatever we want, really. I'm going to go into Gliscor, and I'm going to Earthquake. And if we can get rid of the Dragapult, we can just close combat this thing into oblivion. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake now. Either they're going to stay in and attack, or they're going to go into Dragapult, one of the two. Swords Dance. Interesting. So they're banking on living an Earthquake here. So Earthquake comes through. Nope. No living that Earthquake, I'm afraid. As Mienshao goes down. And we've just got Dragapult left, which could be Specs, which means it could take us out. So Lanzorian comes in. The Dragapults. Spikes are going to dig in, which is awesome. And we just simply go for a knockoff here. I don't see any reason not to. Phantom Force? It's a physical one. Interesting, that's cool. So are we going to see Band here? Don't know. I think we can take a Phantom Force though. if they're banded. Let's try it. Let's go for a knockoff right now. They go for a Phantom Force. Yeah, we live that. We live that. Knockoff comes through. Takes out the Dragapult with a critical hit. Well deserved by Gliscor. That is going to be the game. So GG Fornabil. Pretty awesome stuff. GG. That was a fun one. I did enjoy that. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. So they're going to lead off with Dralistico, which is the Dragapult. As I led off with Dracula, the Gliscor. This is not a bad lead for us. It's not the best lead either. I might just go for a Protect here, just because they might Will-O-Wisp. But I'm going to go for Protect today, just so we can get the Toxic Heal, because if they do Will-O-Wisp, we don't want to be burned, obviously. We want to get poisoned, so that we can heal. They go for a Draco Meteor. That would have definitely stung my Gliscor but quite a bit, but I have a feeling they're specs based on the fact that they went straight for a Draco there. We are specially defensive, so I have no doubt in my mind that we can take a Draco Meteor. So I'm going to go for a knockoff this turn, get rid of this item. They go for a Draco Meteor, and it does a lot of damage still, even despite us being specially defensive. So that's definitely specs. Well, not anymore, because we go for a knockoff, doing over half damage, which is great, and we knock off them choice specs. And now I'm pretty confident we can live another attack right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and assume they might go into Corviknight. They may also go into something. I think we're better off going for a Spikes here, so that's what I'm going to do. They actually go for another Draco. Now, it's not specs and it's minus special attack. We still die to that. We still died to that. I should have protected. I really thought they would switch out, though, expecting a protect. But no. We lose our Gliscor very quickly, which is a bit of a bad situation for us to be in. To be honest with you, a very bad situation for us to be in. So we can go into our Hoopa now, though. Hoopa would definitely be a good option here. I should have just protected there to get the health back. Oh well, it's whatever. So looking at this matchup, Hoopa does a lot of damage to their team. I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse here, and if they go into Mienshao, it's fine. They go for a U-turn, which is going to definitely KO Hoopa here. Ah, that's a misplay on my behalf. I didn't think it would KO if it's choice specs, but then I remembered Dragapult's got base 120 attack. This is not going well for me. My hardest hitters have gone. Edge comes in. Who's Edge? Corviknight. And our main Pokemon to take care of this thing is gone. The Hoopa is gone. We go in Rotom here every single time. So we'll go into Bosch real quick. The Rotom Wash. Now they're probably going to maybe expect a Thunderbolt here. So we might see a Jolteon switch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Pump real quick. Pump comes through. They do not switch out. So they were definitely wanting to take the electric type move. They go for a U-turn. What are they going to go into, though? I still think we have a chance of winning this without Gliscor and Hoopa. Definitely have a chance of winning this, but it's going to be tough. Hoopa was definitely a big player in this. They go into Small Tato, the reliable partner, which is going to be the Jolteon. So we can't Volt Switch anymore, which is unfortunate. But we get some leftover recovery at least. And they get burned as well, so they are a Quick Feet Jolteon, which is good to know. I get to go for a Volt Switch now. They go for a Calm Mind. That's fine. We can handle this Jolteon, I think. So special attack and special defense is going to boost, making this thing pretty terrifying. We go for a Volt Switch. We know they're not Volt Absorb. They're obviously Quick Feet. They outspeed everything on the team. No doubt in my mind. So what do we do here? Do we go for a Toxicroak? I think we go Toxicroak. I think we go Toxicroak and we go for a Terra Ground Earthquake. That's what I think we should do. Terra Ground Earthquake will definitely help us here. So we'll go for it. Terra Ground Earthquake, because they're going to go for a T-Bolt probably. Or I don't think it gets a Psychic move, but we could see a Terra Blast, Terrestrialization. But they haven't Terrestrialized because we went first, so we know they haven't Terrestrialized. So we're Terra Ground, which is awesome. And hopefully they went for a T-Bolt here and we can get by unscathed. They did go for a T-Bolt, which is great. A +1, it's still not going to affect a Terra Ground Earthquake, Toxicroak. As we go for said Earthquake, like so. They still don't know a Scarf because we obviously got outspeed there. So that's great. Hikaru Shida comes in, which is the Mienshao. So they don't know that we are Scarfed. We don't need them to know that we're Scarfed either, because they're probably going to go for a Triple Axle here. In which case, we should go into our Rotom Wash. So, Triple Axle is probably coming our way. They could also go for a CC, but I'm pretty sure we can take a CC, no problem. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into Rotom now. Take any hit this one wants to go for. They go for a U-turn. That's fine. Does a lot of damage. Not really. We can still pull this back, though. They are Life Orbs, so that tells me there might be a Regenerator set. We'll know if they come back in later with more health. Danhausen comes in. The Spiritomb, which is fine. We can handle Spiritomb, I think. I don't know what with, but we can handle it. So what we'll do here is, first things first, we'll burn it because they could be a physical set. So getting the burn on the Spiritomb is going to be really useful. And if they Calm Mind here, we're kind of screwed. But I don't think they'll Calm Mind. I hope not, anyway. Let's see what they do. They go for the Willow. That's fine. They burn my Rotom. Awesome stuff. And now I think they're probably going to go for a Hex, right? If anything. Hex. What I'm going to do is I'm going to withdraw Rotom. I don't know why I didn't Volt Switch, but it's whatever. And I'm going to go into Cryogonal real quick. Cryogonal comes in the Snowflake. They go for a Hex. We should eat this up like it's nothing because we have really good special defense. We do, which is great. And now we can pretty much go for whatever we want. So they're more than likely going to switch Arcanine in here. Probably going to switch Arcanine in here, if I had to guess. Or they go for a Burn again. One of the two. I'm going to go for a Freeze Dry just because Chip is Chip at the end of the day. They don't go into Arcanine. We get a bit of Chip, which is great. They go for a Willow. It's fine. I'm going to get rid of a Freeze Dry because this is all I can see Cryogonal really doing this game, is just taking out the Spiritomb if we can. They go for a Hex. Obviously, we're burnt, so it's going to do double the damage, but it's still not enough to get the 2-hit KO on us, which is fantastic. And they do have leftovers as well, which I've just noticed. Another Freeze Dry is coming their way. And the great thing is we're at similar health, so they can't really go for a Pain Split here. So they go for a Hex. Nearly takes out Cryogonal, but as long as we can weaken this Spiritomb, I think we're alright. Because here's the thing, right? They have got the Corviknight in the back, which is going to be terrifying to deal with. But Cryogonal wasn't doing anything to that. It wasn't doing anything to the Enchao. It wasn't doing anything to Dragapult. Like, well, the Dragapult would have probably been able to take a hit, but I'm going to go for a Freeze Dry now just to get some damage off, and hopefully they're not Rest Sleep Talk. I don't think they will be, but you never know. Hex again, that's fine. So the Spiritomb hexes our Cryogonal into Oblivion. And now we have a choice here of going into whatever we want. Now, do I go into Toxicroak? That will bait in the Corviknight. That's for sure. Or do I just play it safe and go into Rotom or Goldengo and go for a Shadow Ball? I think Goldengo is a good option. I think Goldengo is a very good option because we can just go for a Shadow Ball and KO this thing, which is going to be great. So we float in the air with our Air Balloon, of course. We go for a Shadow Ball here. They go for a Sucker Punch, which is interesting. That's going to do no damage because of the burn, but it does pop our Air Balloon, which isn't going to matter, I don't think. So Shadow Ball comes through. That's going to take out the Spiritomb, no problem. And the great thing about the Air Balloon being popped is that if the Mienshao has knockoff, it won't do nearly as much damage because we have no item anymore. Dralistico comes in though. That is the Dragapult. It's going to Shadow Ball us in the face probably. We do not have a good switch into that at all. We have not got a good switch into Shadow Ball right now. I'd say Rotom probably would do the trick, but we're going to have to risk it for a Chucky Biscuit and let Goldengo just take the Shadow Ball to the face. They are going to Terra. Oh, please don't be Terra Ghost. Please don't be Terra Ghost. They are Terra Ghost. Okay, so this Shadow Ball is probably going to KO us here. Goldengo is bulky, but like not that bulky. Terra Ghost Shadow Ball is definitely going to KO. There's the Shadow Ball coming through. Boom. And that is one dead Goldengo. Yep, there we go. Goldengo goes down, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Can't complain. Something had to go down there. So now we'll go Toxicroak. Now, Toxicroak's in a unique position here where we could actually KO this thing with Earthquake. And we can catch them off guard. So they're probably going to expect a Sucker Punch. In which case, they'll more than likely switch out into Corviknight. But I feel like they just let this thing go down. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake here. They do let it go down, which is great. So we go for the Earthquake. They know we're Choice Scarf now. We outspeed, we KO, and there we go. So Dragapult goes down, which is awesome. Boom. Let's see how this plays out. Edge comes in, which is going to be the Corviknight. We know this thing's going to roost here. Has to roost here, right? So we go into Rotom every single time. So we withdraw Croagunk. We go into our Rotom Wash, like so. Bosch comes in. We burn this thing, that's for sure. They go for a U-turn, actually, which is kind of clutch for them. So, but the thing is, what are they going to go into now? Are they going to go into the Mienshao? If they go into the Mienshao, we can smack it in the face with a Hydro Pump, which can be cool. Hikaru Shida comes in, and I feel like we really lose to Arcanine again, like we did in the last video. Which is hilarious. This team's just not a big fan of Hisui and Arcanine. But it is what it is at the end of the day. What we can do here is, so we can burn this thing if we want to, or we can hydro pump. Let's try and burn it, because even though close combat's coming our way, I know we can live one close combat, which we have, because we are physically defensive. And as long as we can burn this thing, we should be alright, because no, it doesn't really matter what we did there. I guess we could have hydro pumped. Burning this thing's still pretty useful, I guess. And plus, we could have missed the hydro pump. I know you can miss Will-O-Wisp, but more likely to miss hydro pump. So if we'd have missed the hydro pump there, that would have been even worse, because at least now we get chip damage on them every turn after their life orb. And they are regenerator as well. They're not reckless, hence why they have close combat over high jump kick. So that's awesome. So Rotom is going to go down this next turn, but it's whatever. Now we go for a hydro pump. They go for a knockoff that's going to take out Rotom Wash, unfortunately. And there we go. Rotom Wash goes down, knocking off our leftovers. That's rude. And they get some life orb recall. So after the life orb and burn, I have no doubt in my mind that we can win. Toxicroak can do some stuff. So what I'm going to do is go into Toxicroak like so. And I'm pretty confident that we can go kick this thing up with a close combat. I'm going to go for the close combat, take it out. They withdraw the Mienshao. Hopefully we see a Corviknight switch. Edge comes in. So we can two-shot the Corviknight right now. Hopefully. Close combat comes through. Will it two-shot? It does two-shot, which is awesome. Does two-shot, which is awesome. Unless they're leftovers. No, the Rocky Helmet, which is good. So we go for another close combat here. Now, the problem is that we've got is that even though, yes, we're taking out the Corviknight here with Toxicroak, that Arcanine has extreme speed, which can definitely take us out if they're banded, which they might well be. They may well be banded. So it's a matter of whether or not we can defeat that odd, you know? Hikaru Shida comes in. That's a Mienshao, right? Yeah, Mienshao comes in now. They're trying to get defense drops, so that Arcanine's extreme speed will definitely KO. So we go for a close combat here. Probably won't KO, actually. We get a crit, which means it does KO, which is pretty cool. Now, it all comes down to this. Does Arcanine have extreme speed or not? If it doesn't have extreme speed, we definitely win with close combat. If it does have extreme speed, which it probably does, because it's Hisuian Arcanine, we're kind of boned. So Arcanine comes in like so. Let's go for that close combat. Let's see if we can get a W here. They don't have extreme speed? And we win just like that. Okay, that was a unexpected turn of events. I was expecting the extreme speed big time. GG, that was a pretty fun one. I did enjoy that one. We made some questionable plays, but still a bit of a turnaround for us, which is nice. G freaking G.